Hey everyone! The VOD you're about to watch was originally live streamed on Twitch, but I know some of you prefer a different platform to watch on or to watch whenever you want at your leisure. Or maybe it's years from now and you're just now joining us and checking out my archives. And either way, welcome. I typically stream on Twitch on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you'd like to join us live, you can find the links to my Twitch page and all of my other social media down in the description. I am just starting out, so bear with me, style under construction. If you have any comments or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you'd like this, I'd really like it if you would like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm very grateful. I'm super excited about this content that I'm creating, and I hope you guys are too. I love hearing from you. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks a bunch.
Good morning. Aw, Kittay, that's sweet. Good morning. Good morning, Merlin. Yeah, I was going through some of my boxes and realized I have 4 different scarves in progress. And they're all different because that's typically when I learn a new stitch, I'm like, oh, I'll practice this by making a scarf. And then I get distracted or I move on to another project and I don't ever finish. So we have choices this morning. We've got this guy, which is kind of fun. It's like a really thick stitch. This one's called Dragon Scale. It's a little hard to see, but yeah, it's kind of got a scaly pattern to it. It's really fun, and it's like super thick and cushy. So I'm making this one for myself. I've got, stay there, hook. Let's see, I've got this one, which is like a more sunset pattern. This one's called Ball Gown Stitch, so you can see it's got like little almost triangle shapes to it because of the way it's done. And I'm actually making this one for Kara. She has laid claim to it because she likes the colors. Both of those are getting fairly close to done, I think. Well, no, not Kara's, because she wants it as long as possible. Oh, thank you. Also, hi Merlin's mother. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I really like that ball gown stitch. It's fun to do. I've got this one, which I think was also planned to be for myself. Because I like the colors. These are like kind of my signature colors. Again, this is, like Merlin, this is kind of what like my layout and everything is arranged to look like, because I really like this sort of palette where it's the earth tones and the blues. This one's getting real long. And this one's also almost done. I've only got, oh, my yarn's a mess, but I've only got not too much yarn left on this one, so I think I was planning to just go until I ran out of yarn. This one's just a real basic stitch. This is just alternating single crochets and chains, but it makes like a nice squishy scarf. Magic! I'm psychic. I just lost a hook. I heard it clatter. That's a problem for a little bit later. And then this one, this is real fun. If I can get the yarn untangled. There we go. So this one is what's called a Tunisian stitch, where it's sort of a hybrid between knitting and crochet, where I'm using a crochet hook. It is crochet stitches, but I'm carrying multiple loops on the shaft, and then for the return rows I pull them through 2 at a time and sort of do like a typewriter almost. So it's kind of an interesting hybrid, and it makes a sort of a thinner but more sturdy stitch. The hook telekinesis powers. I wish. That's a metal hook too, so if I had a magnet, it would be more useful. Oh god, there's so much yarn. Guys, there's so much yarn. So we have choices. So while I retrieve that hook, which one should I work on? If I can retrieve that hook. I know where it fell. It fell down behind my basket of yarn. I don't know where it rolled to though. It could have bounced like anywhere. I mean, my fingers brushed it. There it is. I have other hooks. It's not the end of the world, but this is one of the nice metal ones that I really like. This one, the sunset one, I can do that. Yeah, I really like this yarn. So this is Lion Brand yarn. It's one of their ice cream line. Colorway is Parfait. I really like this yarn. It's an acrylic, but it's really soft. And it's really thin too, so it makes a really nice, more lightweight project. This is the one I was working on during D&D yesterday too, because it's a really easy stitch that I can just kind of do on autopilot. Although, if I'm not paying enough attention and not counting properly, I did have to rip a couple rows out at one point because they weren't lining up properly. So I'm actually in the middle of a ball gown row, and the way it works is I'm gonna pull up for the next 3 stitches. So I've got 4 on my hook, and then pull through all of them and chain 1, and that makes the little ball gown. So it's nice and simple, easy to do on autopilot, more or less, as long as I'm paying minimal attention to what I'm doing. This is also the one I was working on when I was in Zoom training a couple weeks ago. That's part of why it got so long, is I was working on it for just like 8 hours a day while I was sitting on Zoom. And then the end of the row, you do a single crochet, a chain stitch to turn, flip it over, and then the alternating rows, so this row is going to be all single crochet. So you do a row of single crochet as sort of a base, and then the ball gown's in between, and it creates this really nice pattern. And it's nice and lightweight too. So it'll be a good like fall spring scarf, I think. But yes, I apologize if you were looking forward to patchwork specifically, Kittay. But yeah, like I said, I was kind of puttering around my room and realized I've got 4 scarves in progress, and I should probably finish at least one of them, or work on at least one of them. Fortunately, I can't get my camera much lower because of the way the arm works out. Wish for voice as you try to write more backstory notes. There's no such thing as too many backstory notes. Coffee is also good. I also have coffee. Merlin, I think I mentioned Kittay's the one that's playing Cat Nassim, basically. We have a character in our other campaign that's also a monk who lived in a monastery for most of his life, so he's very not sure how to people and not sure how to emotion. But he's very sweet. So I've just been calling Light Cat Nassim. That doesn't mean much to me because I don't play monk and I haven't played a monk in D&D. But I assume that's a thing. He did! That's like legit one of my favorite moments in game so far. So my character is a barbarian fighter that's had a moderate amount of tragic backstory. And in the last few sessions, some of that tragic backstory has come back to bite us. Uh, in the form of his dead husband being resurrected as like a lich, kind of. We're not really sure. But it was not good, and Farron is not okay with it. So during yesterday's session, he's like, yeah, he's not okay. So yesterday's session, he went to Dasim, who's like our ship's captain, and was like, Captain, you know, can we make a detour? I'd kind of like to go home for a few days. And Nassim had emotions. He was like, Farron, are you okay? And Farron was like, no, I am not okay. He'll be okay. He's always okay. He just wants to go home and see his current partner. I know, it was such a good character moment. Oh, okay. That's fair. I mean, so Bram, my horse Paladin, I had to put the 8 somewhere. He's got a dexterity of 8, so that's gonna be fun. Um, Look, he's not quiet. He's going to be tripping over his own hooves. It's fine. Horses aren't graceful. Especially since he's a chunky horse. He's got like a draft pony build. So yeah, he's not subtle. Not terribly dexterous. I mean, maybe you're a very pretty Tabaxi Kittay. Charisma could be based on looks. I'm sure Tabaxi are very cute. Did I remember to do my stitch at the beginning of this one? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. That's usually where I mess up my rows, is I forget I need to do a single crochet at the beginning of the ball gown rows, and then my count is off for the next row. Yeah, no, I'm so glad we got to play yesterday, and it was such good character interactions. It felt like a really good session. I know Farron was quiet for most of the rest of that, but that's because he was not okay. He was kind of tagging along with the others because he knew he shouldn't be alone, but he's still kind of in his own head about things, so... Getting to go home and see Otto will help. I love how everyone's also just referring to Farron as dad now. He just is. Gotta keep all the children in sight. Although, to be honest, if Arashi had been closer, Farron probably would have pushed them into the sewer, or pushed them into the water when they were making fun of us. But Arashi was like 3 people away, so Farron couldn't reach and just kind of glared. Hi, Sasha. What? She's not usually as happy when I have crochet on my lap, so we'll see how this goes. Hi, come on. Are you gonna settle down? Are you gonna settle down? Good morning, Dancer. Naps are good. We are gonna do some crochet today because I am working on scarves. If Sasha will let me. Baby. Yeah, that's also kind of why I wanted to make that side quest. I'm really glad Nassim agreed to it. I also feel like there's a chance for that, Kittay. Bram definitely has the instincts already of, oh god, must protect cat. But also, like, oh no, I need to make another stitch there. I had been meaning to mention that to you, Kittay, because, like, there's actually some, when we get a couple levels higher, there's some really good opportunities for combat synergy. Because I'm planning to have Bram take the protection fighting style, which means that if a attack is targeted toward anybody within 5 feet of Bram, he can step in and shield them, because he carries a shield. And with Light being a monk, they'll probably almost always be up in melee range with Bram. So it would be very easy for, if anyone tries to target Light with an attack, Bram will just be like, nope, and step in. Eight hours can still be a nap, Dancer. Bye. Close quarters, Kittay. Yes, good. I've got Bram armed with a lance, so he's actually got a 10-foot reach. If anything's within 10 feet of him, he can stab it with the lance, and if anything gets closer within 5 feet of him, he can just kick it with his hooves. So that's the basic idea at the moment. Just smack things a lot. I'm excited to get to use... I am excited we're playing in Discord too, because I have a ton of dumb horses falling over gifts saved that I'll be able to use again. But yeah, I think it'll work out really well because our party's actually structured pretty well. We've got you and I in the front, and then we've got a cleric and 2 warlocks in the back, so... the gray and cream scarf, what brand of yarn is that? This one? I don't have the paper for it anymore. I think I've got a picture of it on my Instagram somewhere because I started this one forever ago. It's also Lion brand. I don't remember exactly what line it is. I got this yarn years ago. But yeah, I'm fairly certain it's Lion brand. Which is in fact one of my favorite brands of yarn. They're a little bit on the expensive side, but I love them. The one of my picture. Oh, that's a good question because that was taken ages ago. It's actually purple and cream if I remember right. The cone at the back or the granny squares toward the front? The cone at the back is cotton. And I want to say it was Peaches and Cream, I think was the brand for that one. The granny squares toward the front are, I think, Red Heart. But that picture is forever old. I took that in university as like illustration of, hey guys, look how much yarn I have. I have way more yarn now. I should take a new picture. Or yeah. It might have been, no, I'm pretty sure that was Red Heart. Which Red Heart has actually improved in quality a lot over the years. No. That. There we go. Also, good morning, Kara. I saw your puff. No, we can't fit all my yarn in one picture. I have 3 totes of it, plus a basket, plus whatever's just sitting around. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to our new campaign because I think we've actually got a fairly balanced party comp. We've got a paladin and a monk for frontline tanking, I suppose, especially the paladin. But then we've got a cleric and 2 warlocks in the back for support and additional DPS. Both of the warlocks have Archfey patrons and different Archfey patrons, which is going to be really interesting. I'm not sure Randus is prepared for Archfey politics. Boo. Well, thank you for the thought. Bram's fine. He'll have plenty of HP and he's got armor on. He can take the hits. He's more worried about the squishy kitties. A fairy dragon? That's awesome. Yeah, let's oh, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting considering Bram follows Bahamut. Hopefully they get along. No, 16 isn't too bad. But Bram's used to Glint, who is one of the aforementioned warlocks and fairly squishy. And I don't think he knows too many other tabaxi. So at least at the beginning, he's gonna look at light and kind of just extrapolate from what he knows of Glint. At least until he gets to know light better. Yeah, fairy dragon is a really interesting concept. Again, I hope that doesn't come into conflict with Bahamut and the fact that we're essentially hunting a dragon as part of this scenario. I assume Randus wouldn't have given you the option if it would straight up screw us over, but it might make things really interesting. Oh, perfect. So by fairy dragon, we mean like itty bitty. That's precious. Did 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 the dragon do the Mushu thing where it projected its like shadow on a wall or something, and that's what Glint saw? Also, good morning, Dobby. We're just discussing D&D shenanigans while I crochet. A sunset scarf for Kara. Oh, right, good evening. I mean, it's still morning for me. But yes, good evening to you. I mean, yeah, illusion's a thing, but it's funnier if they pulled a Mushu. Nope, stay. D&D is a lot of fun. But hey, Tumblr roleplay is also good. I've done my fair share of that. Not necessarily on Tumblr, but like text roleplay and stuff. Oh, that's right. You just got home from vacation. I'm glad. I hope you had a good time. Seemed like you were. Good, I'm glad. How'd your diving expedition on Friday go? Diving is one of those things I really enjoy the theory and like I enjoy watching videos of it. I could not do it myself. I'm not a water person. I'm fascinated by all the stuff that's down there, but I'd rather watch it on a screen. Aw, yeah, family vacations are real good. I'm looking forward to... Kara and I are planning to go down and visit my family for Christmas holidays this year. And I'm looking forward to that because it's been... I mean, it's been since before the pandemic. Since I've seen any of them. And my sister and I are pretty close, so her especially, I'm really looking forward to getting to see her in person again. We talk all the time. But yeah, it'll be nice to see her. Yes, for sure, Dancer, because I can't even do that. I'm not a water person. If you take me to the ocean, I'm gonna walk along the beach and look for shells and definitely not go in the water. that massive shell when we went out to New Brunswick, though. We were just walking along the coast, and I looked down, and there was just this giant, and by giant, I mean, like, it's, like, this big. Like a round snail shell, sea snail. And I picked it up fully expecting it to still have a snail in it. I was going to put it back in the water, but no, it was completely empty. So I kept it. Like, I made super sure that nothing was living in it first. But no, it was completely empty and not broken at all. In perfect shape and very large. So that's kind of my treasure. We've got it on a shelf downstairs with a few other artifacts from our wedding and honeymoon. Although that was not actually our honeymoon. That was like pre... yeah, I also... yeah, both of those things. I burn easily, and I'm not a strong swimmer. Yeah, both of those things are true. And I don't enjoy swimming either. So I just don't... I've never made the effort. I could save myself, probably. Like, I can swim. I'm just not very good. Although at least we're not Jade, who is just legitimately allergic to the sun. If she gets out in the sun too long, she just... And by too long, I mean like 10 minutes. She'll break into hives. Because she's just, yeah, basically allergic to sunlight. Yeah, no melting, Merlin. Melting is not great. I feel you there. Although, if I had to pick one or the other, I would rather be too hot than too cold, I think. I hate the cold. Did I do a chain stitch there? I did not. This is what I mean about paying attention. You only have to pay attention at the start and the end of the rows. And then one single crochet. Now I can do the ball gowns. Ah, yeah, that's fair answer. Watering the ears is also not a good thing, especially if you have problems with that already. Yeah, that's I hadn't even thought of that, but that's definitely another factor. I do not like having water in my ears at all. I would still rather take hot, humid weather over cold, I think. If I had to spend the rest of my life at the Arctic Circle or the rest of my life at the equator, I would definitely pick the equator. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's easier to put more layers of clothing on, and you can only take off so much. And you can always put on blankets and stuff, so that's fair and valid. Like, we tend to keep our house a little bit on the cooler end, and I don't usually mind because I can just put on a couple extra sweaters. But as far as personal preference, I would rather be a bit too warm than a bit too cold. But have you tried? Although, yeah, I do remember back at the old place in the middle of summer. So our old house, we lived in a townhouse with no air conditioning. And because it was a townhouse, all of the windows were along one wall because it was connected to units on both the left and the right, but also at the back. So all of the windows were along one wall. So in the summer, we could have every single window open. We could have the sliding glass door to the balcony wide open, and there would just be no airflow at all. And it was the worst. Like, I just still remember that day sitting on the couch with our feet in buckets of cold water with like cold rags across our faces because it was like 37 degrees inside and like 34 degrees outside, so we couldn't even like go outside to cool off, and it was the worst. See, that's how Kara is too, Merlin. She's so we when we sleep, we actually have separate blankets in bed because she's a furnace. And when I moved in, we tried to share blankets for like a week, and it did not work. Both because we're both blanket hogs and we both like to sort of cocoon in our blankets, but also because she just kept sweating me out of bed. I got so hot lying next to her. And then I also have the problem of like icy cold feet and hands. So we just have both of those issues as a couple. I keep sticking my icy cold feet against her, like, you know, radiating furnace leggies. Yeah, we literally moved a block for the sake of AC. But this place is so much better. It was great though, because Kara and Jade and our other roommate at the time came up with the idea because they were building the building that we're in now, and they were just kind of laying around and bantering around the idea, and one of them mentioned, you know, it would be easier to move into those new units than it would be to fix all the problems with this unit. And then they kind of stopped and looked at each other and were like, no, it would be easier. And I was at work at the time, and these nerds put together a PowerPoint presentation because I mean, I have anxiety and I really don't like change and I hate moving. And they knew that my instinctive reaction would be like, fuck no, I don't want to move. So they put together a PowerPoint presentation to convince me that moving was a good idea. But it took until slide 2, because slide 2 was air conditioning. And I just kind of went, yep, let's do it. I'm done. Let's move. Although my condition was, now that we're in this place, we are not leaving until they kick us out. Like, we're not moving. Especially not now that I've got my sewing studio set up. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that. Yeah. Yeah, no, my parents actually also sleep with separate blankets because of the exact same reason. Um, my mom sleeps hot and she only wants a sheet at the most, whereas my dad needs like 2 comforters and a fleece blanket. Um, so I think I grew up with that being very normalized. So once I moved in with Kara, we tried sharing blankets, and then after like a week I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my own blankets. This is fine. um Neither one of us is a cuddler necessarily, but we both like cocoon into our blankets and sleep kind of curled up, so it works out. Yep, yep, burritos, both of us. It's just a bed of burritos. Bedritos, you're correct. No, Kittay, burrito is what happens when we have to wrap Sasha up in a towel so that we can trim her claws. Although she's not usually purring at that moment. She's usually making little angry yowly noises. I usually have to have my arms wrapped around something. Like I have a pillow, I have an extra pillow that I usually keep wrapped, or keep my arms wrapped around. But that's more for, because I tend to sleep on my side, and that's more to keep my shoulders supported. Because I'm double jointed and have some ligament issues, if I try to sleep on my side and don't have my arm like wrapped around something, my shoulder just collapses sideways. And I will be very stiff and unhappy in the morning. Did I do the extra stitch there? Yes, okay. Yep, body pillows are great. That's essentially what I have. It's not a full length one, it's like a half length body pillow, but yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, Dancer, I would definitely recommend, if you don't want to like invest and buy a body pillow, grab a stuffed animal or like even, you know, a throw pillow or something and just try it out for a couple nights. I bet if you have your upper arm wrapped around it, and so you kind of lean your shoulder against the pillow, on while you're on your side, and it works fantastically for me. Aww. I have Bear, who I have had literally 32 years at this point. He is 30 years old. I've had him since I was less than a year old. I don't sleep with him anymore because he's getting a little bit too fragile, but I slept with him for a very, very long time.
Speaking of furnaces,
Yes.
I
I'm gonna
bring-
deposit.
I bring you the smallest furnace.
She's not the smallest furnace. She's chunky.
She's the smallest furnace in the house.
That's true.
Here we go, co-star Sasha.
Yeah, she gets mad when I try to crochet on top of her, though. So she'll probably come back downstairs.
At least it's entertaining.
It's true.
You purr so loud.
She do purr so loud.
How are you so loud when you have no sound card?
Oh, that's Curse Dancer. Yeah, I got a Moogle male that's a cat. I mean, you could get the Jesus body pillow for the lulz, I guess. Is it like, okay, here's my question. Is it like an Uwu Animu, like fan art Jesus? Or is it like one of those Renaissance painting, like Sacred Heart, serious Jesus? Because I feel like those are two very different body pillow vibes. I mean, both of them are cursed, but... Yes, I know you're mad. Get over it. What? How dare I have yarn on your back? Is that it? Yeah, I feel like there's definitely causation there, Kittay. Having body pillow equals acquire great butt. Although the tightness of the pajama pants is probably also a factor. Yes, you can grumble all you want. Oh my god, there's gonna be so much cat hair in this. Yep, there she goes. Oh. She sees something out the window. Are you gonna stay or are you gonna go? What? What? Bye. Oh no, I need to see this. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's incredible. I love it. Hang on, I'm gonna repost that to Julie's Discord because I have to. That's incredible. It's like a plush toy Jesus. I love him. I love him so much. Alright, I gotta get my windows back in order. I think it's both. It's definitely both. Single crochets. I'm doing single crochets. It's kind of endearing. Wait, maybe Kittay's right. Help me, body pillow Jesus, you're my only hope. Only hope, body pillow Jesus. Not quite a valid row name, unfortunately. I feel like body pillow Jesus would be an aura. Pets need Jesus too. Allegedly. Do you need Jesus, Sasha? Oh, she just left. I think I offended her. Oh, no. She's puking. I definitely offended her. Kara, can you come save me? Oh, honey. Do you have a hairball again? I have to start oiling her food again. Ooh, cooking after a day of travel. What should you order? Do you have a good shawarma place nearby? Shawarma's always good. I had not experienced shawarma until I moved to Canada. Because my parents live in a very, well, not very, but a fairly small, fairly homogenous Midwestern town with not a lot of Middle Easterns. So I had just never had shawarma before, and it is amazing.
I brought you paper towel.
Okay, well, just set it on the desk then, I'll get it later.
Sorry, I will throw up if I go near that.
Alright, finish this row. And then I will take a quick break to deal with that. Kebabs are also good. If that sounds good to you. Ooh, lamb. Lamb kebabs are always good. Alright. I'll take a quick break. While I'm on break, decide, should I switch scarves and work on one of the other ones for a while, or shall I keep working on this one? So I will be right back. Hopefully I don't lose this hook again. Alright, I am back. Sasha has been taken care of. Poor little baby. Doner kebab is also good. Work a project to completion unless something forces you to context switch. Fair enough. I mean, this one's gonna take a while because Kara wants it as long as possible. But yeah, fair enough. SRE, I want to say Systems Resource Engineering. Herb. Noon owl. Oh, I'm green today. At least on my screen. It is supposedly a great horned owl. I mean, some of these clock calls are a little bit iffy. This clock is probably about as old as I am. But yeah, allegedly that was a great horned owl. Software reliability engineering. Aha. I was coming at it from the perspective of my dad's an aerospace engineer and a system safety officer, so I always kind of go toward system engineering first because that's what I'm used to hearing him talk about. Rather than the software side of things. Good, thank you, Nightbot. I was just thinking it hadn't shouted out Merlin's layouts in a while. Good to know that timer still works. All the sleepy music suddenly. she'll realize I'm still up here. Poor baby. I mean, the puke doesn't necessarily bother me. That's just kind of life with cats. Okay, Merlin, thank you for stopping by. Enjoy Mother's Day. Give your mom a hug. Yeah, if you can, give your mom a hug for those of us that live too far away to give our moms hugs. I'll be calling mine later. Nope. Come back. There we go. It's not where the hook goes. I once got stopped at airport security for a crochet hook. Because it was one of these metal ones, and it was in my carry-on bag, in my purse. So when my purse went through the x-ray machine, they weren't necessarily concerned about it, but they pulled me aside, and the TSA agent wanted me to open my bag just so that he could see what it was, because it was this weird metal stick with a hook on the end that was showing up on the x-ray, and he just wanted to be sure of what it was. As soon as I showed him that it was a crochet hook, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. But yeah, I was kind of like, oops, forgot it was metal. Sorry. But he let me take it on. He just wanted to know what it was. Still funnier than the time that Kara got stopped at airport security because of a phone charm, though. So she had a metal Master Sword charm from Legend of Zelda, and she had it hanging from her 3DS. So when it went through the scanner, all they saw was like this massive electronics and wiring with this weird metal sword shape right next to it. And I mean, it was like, 2 inches long. So again, the agent pulled her aside just to kind of be like, can I see what this is? And then as soon as he saw that it was, a 3DS with a phone charm hanging on it, he was like, oh, okay. It was just, it showed up so weird on the scanner. They were like, we've not seen this before. We're going to check on it. Okay, now we're getting slightly more awake music. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, that's a little bit of a longer story. So, when we went down to my brother's wedding, it was down in Tennessee. So, of course, we flew down. And as we were leaving, we, went through airport security, plenty of time, found our gate. We had like an hour and a half, 2 hours until our flight. So we were walking around in the airport behind security to do like some shopping. And we ended up finding this tin of it was like a dry rub for meats and marinades and things, but it was an espresso based one. Oh my god, it was so good. I think we finally just ran out of it. Um, but we were like, oh, this looks really, really good, so we bought a tin. And, we were already behind security and we had already checked our bags, so we just kind of stowed it in our carry ons. Well, turns out our flight that day got canceled. There was a mechanical issue with the plane. And rather than trying to fight our way onto another flight that same day, we were like, you know what? I didn't have work the next day anyway. Kara did, but she was able to call her boss and be like, hey, I'm stuck in Tennessee. So we were like, you know what? We're not in a super huge hurry to get home. It's not that big of a deal. If you just want to rebook us on something tomorrow, as long as we get our hotel and stuff compensated, because we hadn't planned on this, which was no problem. So the airline arranged to, gave us hotel vouchers and meal vouchers and booked us on a flight for the next day. So we were like, okay, cool. So, we left the airport, went to our hotel. It actually turned out to be really, really nice because I was able to call my brother and be like, hey, so we're still in town. Do you want to grab dinner? So we got to have dinner with my brother and sister-in-law without, the chaos and the stress of the wedding, and actually got to hang out and talk with them, which was really, really nice. Yes, Kara's right. The gate agent was an angel. I still remember her name was Renee. She was so patient and so kind. Some of the other passengers were being such bitches about trying to be rescheduled. That's part of why we were like, no, you know what? Do whatever you need to do. Please just breathe. You're fine. Yeah, she was lovely. She was wonderful. So yeah, we got to have dinner with my brother and sister-in-law. Kara got to experience Nashville Hot, which none of us, like she and I, didn't know was a thing. And my brother and sister-in-law didn't think to warn us. So Kara ordered chicken and waffles that ended up coming with sriracha maple syrup to go on them, and she was not expecting Nashville Hot. Yeah, so we stayed in the hotel that night. No problem. Got up the next morning, headed back to the airport, and then we had to go through security again. And so when we went through security for the second time, there was this metal tin full of powder in Kara's carry-on. So she got pulled aside and questioned and had the like gunpowder residue thing run over her hands just to make sure. And then they opened up the tin and they were like, okay, what is this? And she had to explain to him the whole thing about, yeah, we were through security yesterday. We bought it in that shop over there. If you want to go check. We weren't expecting to have to come through security again. And we hadn't thought about it. We probably could have tucked it into our checked bags, at the hotel that night. And we just hadn't thought about it. It didn't occur to us that it was going to be a problem going back through security. But yeah, once she explained what it was and why it was in there, they were like, okay, yeah, fair enough, and let us keep it. But she had to get swabbed for gunpowder residue. I just don't have good luck with travel. It's probably part of why I don't like flying, because I've been repeatedly traumatized by airports. That's right. It was also my, well, the next day was my birthday. That's why I had the next day off, because the idea was that we would fly home from the wedding, and then the next day was my birthday, so I would just kind of have a quiet day all to myself because Kara was going to go back to work. But no, because our flight got canceled and then we stayed overnight in Nashville, I ended up having to fly home on my birthday, which kind of sucked. It was not in the plan. But we got routed through Washington, D.C., and Kara bought me this really pretty cherry blossom necklace for my birthday in the airport there. So it turned out all right. But yeah, I had deliberately arranged it so that I wouldn't have to fly on my birthday. And then I ended up flying on my birthday. Oh no, Dobby also has a travel horror story. I've got several, like I said. I don't know, man. Airplanes don't like me. Or airports don't like me, I guess. Yeah, that would do it. So not so much a travel horror story, just a pulled aside by TSA. Oh no. See, I usually really like trains, definitely more than airplanes. But yeah, I can see a crowded train being terrible. Wait, what? Cameron's been chased by a torch-wielding mob? I mean, I'm actually not surprised by this somehow, knowing Cameron. But still, what? Oh, not that Cameron. Okay. Not LRR's Cameron. Fair enough. That was what my mind jumped to. I could kind of see LRR Cameron getting chased by a torch-wielding mob in the right situation, though. I mean, yeah, that's fair, Kittay. I think that Cameron's a bit more intelligent than that. At least more respectful than that, we'll say. Yeah, no. He seems much more conscious and respectful than that. Oh dear. But also, Dobby, that's kind of funny. Like, not great for your friend, but kind of funny. Oh, yeah, that's fair, Dancer. I've heard a lot of stories about the tube. We don't have a subway system here. We have one light rail line, but it's not even close to what bigger cities have. The best way to travel on the London Underground is to walk on the surface, Kitty says. Yep, that sounds right. That totally tracks. mean, what were they gonna do, Dobby? Tell him to take his pants off? I mean, I guess they could have just kicked him out and told him to, you know, go back to the hotel and change, but the Swiss guard telling you to strip off your pants on the spot is a funnier mental image. We have a really good bus system. We just don't have trains. And our bus system is... I mean, it's a bus system. It's definitely not as bad as it could be. But it's a bus system. Let's just say I'm really, 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 really hoping I get the job I interviewed for, which is a 3-minute walk from my house, and would not require me to take any buses at all, ever. Yeah, our one light rail line, the train that they bought is like a brand new model that wasn't really tested, like we are the tests, and it's not designed to run in snow, and it's not really designed to run in extreme heat or humidity in Ottawa. It's almost been broken down more than it's been running, and that's only a slight exaggeration. It's to the point where if I get to my platform and see that the train isn't running, I just have to text my boss and be like, LRT, and he's just like, get here when you can, because there's not much else we can do at that point. Oh yeah, Boston? Huh. I've never been to Boston, so I don't know anything about their public transpo. I miss the train system in Japan, though. The couple times I had to ride it in Tokyo was not great, because it was absolutely the stereotype of people shoving you into the trains to be able to pack as many people on as possible. That was not fun. But when I lived in the more rural areas of Japan, the train service was so nice. Because if I decided I wanted to go shopping in, like, the capital city of the prefecture, I just had to hop on the train for half an hour, and I was suddenly in a huge city, and it cost me like $10, $15 round trip. It was incredible. I really miss their train system, as far as, like, reliability and affordability. And it was just so convenient. But then within my city, I kind of biked everywhere I needed to go. But half of that was for exploration purposes. Because it was really nice, because the town that I lived in, I could deliberately get myself lost, because there was a giant river that ran straight through the center of the town, and the place where I was staying was relatively close to the river. So no matter how lost I got, I knew that if I could find the river, or if I could ask somebody to point me back toward the river, I'd be able to make it home from there. Because there were enough landmarks right on the river that as soon as I encountered it again, I could just look up and down and be like, oh, okay, there's the paper mill over there, and there's the bridge over there, so I need to go this way, and I could instantly reorient myself. Ugh, only 3 other people had shown up. Yep, that sounds right. I once got stuck in a bus shelter for like 2 hours. That was while I was working overnights too. We had gone out for groceries because we didn't... I don't remember because it was several years ago. I don't remember if we didn't think it was going to start snowing that early or we didn't think it was going to start snowing that heavily that fast. So we went out for groceries to try to beat the storm. But it came up hard and fast and was just like dumping snow on us. To the point where none of the buses were running. We eventually ended up having to call an Uber just to get the like 5 blocks home because we couldn't walk it either. And yeah, I ended up calling my boss and being like, okay, look, even if I could get into work, I feel like crap now because I've been standing out in the snow for 2.5 hours. Oh no, I know what it was. It was snowing. This is when Kara still worked at a grocery store. So I was working overnights and we had made we really needed groceries. And so we had made the plan that when I got up, I would go and meet her when she got off of work at like 5 or 6. And then we would pick up groceries and bring them home. And then I would go to work. So when I got up and saw that it was snowing so heavily, I remember because I texted Kara and I was like, hey, it's snowing really bad. I would rather just stay home. Can you just like grab the groceries on your own? And Kara was like, no, I really need your help. Like, we need all these groceries. You have to come and help me carry them. And so I remember I was really annoyed anyway because you were making me go out into the snow when I already had work that night. And I ended up having to wait at our bus stop for like 45 minutes. And just as I was texting you to be like, the buses aren't coming, I'm going back inside, a bus showed up. So like an idiot, I got on it. And then it took us like another hour and a half to try to get a bus home that we ultimately couldn't. We had to get, because you and I and Lee took an Uber. And yeah, no, that was not a great day because I ended up standing in the snow for like 2.5, 3 hours trying to wait on the bus to the grocery store and then wait on the bus home from the grocery store. And it was not good. I think I just kind of went back to bed. I took a really hot bath, called my boss, and then just went back to bed. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I had no idea Malta would have... I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're not a small island, but they're an enclosed space, I guess. I mean, they're a finite area, so it's easy enough to build up a reliable public transit system. That's really nice. But yeah, Dancer, that sucks. I love going to class and then not even the professor shows up. That's happened to me a couple times. Apparently today is travel story time with SJ Day. Yeah. The university I went to was notorious for never closing ever, to the point where there was one time we got really, really bad snow to the point where the state government declared like an emergency and were closing down interstates because they didn't want people to try to travel. But our university was going to try to stay open because we never closed for anything. And the governor actually called the president of my university and was like, look, you have to close. We are forcing you to close. You cannot ask your students to come in this. It was great. But yeah, it took a state emergency and a call from the governor to actually get my university to cancel classes and close. Vroom vroom. Goodness. Oof, yeah. Power issues are one of those things you really can't work around. You kind of need the power on to be able to conduct classes safely, let alone effectively. Yeah, for sure. At that point in time, it becomes a safety hazard to have people in the building. Not even just with the temperature, but also with the lighting. There's only so much you can do with torches and lanterns. I mean, that is the way that it's supposed to go through Kittay, yeah. Level 1 is like the ultimate baby. Because that's like what Randus was saying about Bram. Like, I needed a way to justify, okay, well, if he's been traveling and if he's older, why is he only level 1? Because that's like the ultimate, you're just starting out. But yeah, I think level 3 is kind of considered, like I know some campaigns even like start at level 3, because that's kind of like a second baseline, if that makes sense. And it can depend on the DM in the campaign too. But yeah, that would make sense to me. I'm always happy for D&D talk. So happy we're getting to play another game. D&D is fantastic. And like I said, I think we've got a really solid, really good group of characters. I mean, yeah, I haven't done as much for Bram, but my other DM absolutely will just get random texts from me throughout the week being like, oh, I had this thought for Farron, or what about this, or what if XYZ, or oh, I realized this other bit of his backstory. Yeah, she's very tolerant, but also absolutely happy to play into our hands. There's a fantastic post I saw that was basically just like me putting a loaded gun in my backstory. Hey DM, there's a loaded gun in my backstory, feel free to shoot me with it. And then later, after the DM has shot me with it, why would you do that? And like, that's exactly my experience with my other character. I deliberately gave him all this tragic backstory, and my DM is running with it. Bram doesn't have anything nearly so involved yet, I guess. We'll see how he develops, but oh, for sure. Well, it's a little bit different with this campaign too, because we're doing a pre-structured module, whereas my other campaign is completely homebrew. My DM is writing it for us, so she's able to look at all of our character backstories and deliberately weave them in. It's a little bit harder with Randus doing a pre-written module. But that said, like, he's probably got plenty of leeway and ideas of how to work things in. Oh no. Kitty hairball noises. I'll take care of those after stream. Poor thing. Definitely gonna have to oil her food. Well, I mean, it's spring. She's a long hair cat. She's shedding. This is marginally expected. We just need to do more brushing. And possibly give her a bath to try to get a bunch of the loose fuzz out. Before she decides to eat it. No, she does not like baths at all. She usually gets one or maybe two a year, because she's an indoor cat. We don't let her outside at all. She usually does get a bath in the spring just to try to get rid of all the loose shed fur and get the winter funk out of her fur. And then she'll get other baths throughout the year if, I mean, she's a long hair cat. If she does something terrible to herself, we've occasionally had to bathe her on sort of an emergency basis, to put it delicately. But no, she doesn't get regular baths. We have a dry shampoo for her, so we'll occasionally give her a spritz of it's like an all-natural pet-safe dry shampoo. So we'll occasionally give her a spritz of that. But her actual baths are infrequent enough that she is never pleased with them. She just kind of sits there and cries. And then occasionally tries to jump out of the bath and claws my legs in the process. It's fine. Totally fine. So fun fact, I don't know why this stitch is tilting like this. It's kind of got, a diagonal bent to it, parallel to the sides, and I don't know why. I mean, it's an interesting effect. I just don't know why it's doing that. It's probably that my tension is weird and that I'm doing different stitches on the forward and back rows, but I know, right? It's not straight and it's rainbow colored. Whatever could that mean? It is cute. I actually really like the diagonal effect. I just don't know why it's happening. But I'm gonna bet it's because I'm doing two different procedures on the forward and back stitch rows, and my tension for the two different stitches is probably slightly different, and that is probably why. Someday I'll get around to actually teaching you to crochet, Kara. But you're typically pretty content with your cross stitch, so... wonder if Julie's planning to do more Katamari today, or if she's going to go back to 14. Watching her play Katamari is a delight. But now I have the music stuck in my head. And it makes me want to play Katamari. Yeah, it's Sunday. So it's Sunday and she didn't quite finish 6.1 last week, so that's probably what she'll go to. Which is fine. I was just really enjoying watching her play Katamari yesterday. But then again, we only got through about half the VOD. So I've got a little bit more Katamari Julie that I can watch tonight too. Oh, right. It is Mother's Day. Huh. We'll see. We'll find out in T-minus 14 minutes-ish. I am planning to go until 2, though. So, we'll do the traditional wave at everybody that leaves at 1 o'clock and then raid Julie around 2. Ooh, which horror game, Dancer? I will admit I probably won't watch. I don't do well with horror games. But yeah, you should totally stream. Yeah, horror games are not a friend of mine. I've watched Jade do a couple, but it's just not a genre I'm typically drawn toward. Fatal Frame 5. I've heard that one's pretty good. Again, Jade plays a lot of horror games. It's just not typically my cup of tea. If I get this new job, hopefully, fingers crossed, all the fingers and toes crossed, I suspect I won't be as exhausted as I always am at my current job. So I'm thinking I might expand and start doing a third stream day and sort of alternate that between crafting and gaming. So like Sundays will always be crafting and Wednesdays will always be gaming, and then this third night would, you know, one week I would have 2 crafts and a game, and then the next week it would be 2 games and a craft kind of thing. So it's actually a data analyst position, which is exactly the kind of thing I excel at. It's attached to the food and hospitality department of our local college, which is, again, literally a 3-minute walk from my house. And I would be in charge of both troubleshooting their POS systems, making sure that all the meal plan and menu details are correct, doing like the daily financial reporting to make sure everything lines up, making sure that what the bank says matches what our POS says, matches what the student finance department says. Making sure all the student accounts are in order, that kind of stuff. And that's the way that and I was interviewing with my direct report, and she seemed to really like me. The only thing is I'm not as technically qualified as I could be. I don't have a lot of the financial experience. I took classes on it, and I am a very detail-oriented person and a fast learner, which they seem to like, but I don't have the sort of hands-on experience doing this sort of work. So it'll kind of depend on if they're willing to put the work in to train me, and whether or not another candidate is more qualified. But yeah, it sounds like exactly the kind of job that I want to do, where it's, more independently driven, data entry, data analysis. I actually really enjoy that sort of, the kind of detailed work that a lot of people find tedious. I actually really enjoy. So I'm really hoping I get this job, but we'll see. She said she was going to get back to people fairly quickly, so I'm hoping maybe tomorrow or Tuesday I'll find out. But yeah, fingers crossed. And it's minimum like $7 per hour more than I'm making right now, which is like, hell yeah, yes please. I will take that in a heartbeat. Yeah, money good. I mean, honestly, even if they were offering me like the exact same money that I'm making now, I would take it, because it's closer, a job that meshes better with me, more opportunity for advancement, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the fact that they're offering me more money is just kind of the icing on the cake. I don't know what the schedule will look like yet. I suspect it'll be I'm hoping it'll be fairly fixed, but we'll see. Right now I'm just trying to kind of hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of thing. I can't do anything at this point. It's out of my hands, so I just kind of have to try to chill until I hear back on it. There we go. I mean, we're making good time. I think we started at right about the top of the last blue stripe. So we've done a good 4 or 5 inches. It's not bad. Still another hour or so to go. I mean, I'll finish this right as the weather hits consistent 20 degrees and it's too warm for Kara to wear it, but that's fine. There we go. Buzz buzz. Although, I suspect that's just the Julie notification. It is. And she is indeed playing 14. Excellent. Good. She was getting to the good part of FF or of 6.1 last week. Best girl Y'shtola doing best things. I mean, you never know, Kittay. Maybe. Did you have to go do mod things? Or are you just gonna to double monitor your streams? Pity she's not still playing Unraveled. That would be good synergy. Oh well, I'm a week late. Yeah, that's fair. Julie's community doesn't exactly need a lot of moderation. It's mostly just if we get the occasional outsider poking their bot in. Nope, stop that. Bad hook. Also, I hope you're feeling better now, Kittay. I know it's been like a week, but sometimes this stuff can linger. Kara's currently down for the count with probably COVID. But knock on wood, so far so good. I haven't had any symptoms myself. Oh no. Well, I hope you continue to do better. Drink tea. Lots and lots of tea. Oh. Angry bird. Oh no. I'll have a good nap, Kara. I will probably head out to see Ollie fairly soon after I get off stream, so you may not be up yet. So if you get up and I'm gone, you know where I am. But also, yeah, Kittay, that sucks. Drink tea anyway. Easy dinner things for tonight and tomorrow? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, our friend Christy's out of town again, so I gotta go babysit her gigantic floof. Because he's dumb and anxious, and if nobody is home, he won't eat. So anytime she leaves for more than like a day or two, she gets either Kara or me to go over and sit with him for half an hour and reassure him that people exist, and make sure that he eats. He's precious and wonderful and also very dumb. We keep saying this cat is a himbo because he's gigantic. He's a Norwegian forest cat. So he's like literally the size of my torso, but also dumb as a rock. Sasha, I heard you. You can come in. You know how to open the door. The door is closed but not latched, so this sweet, dumb baby has to figure out she can headbutt it open. Sometimes she remembers and sometimes she does not. Vroom. Oh, yeah, I know it's a little bit late in the stream, but posture check. Stop shrimping. If you've been sitting for a while, stand up. If you've been standing for a while, take a seat. Eat water, drink your meds. Do what you gotta. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Oh wait, we still have HopeBot. I can even... There, it's official, it's in chat. You have to do it now. Channel points are a thing that I get once I hit affiliate, right? I'm almost there. And I was thinking, I know I've seen some other crafting streamers that have some of their channel point alerts are like, remind me to stretch, remind me to do a posture check, and I'll probably set those up for myself too, because it's such a good reminder. I should practice what I preach. And I will stretch off stream because my hands and wrists are double jointed. And I know that that can be odd to see on camera and that not everybody's into that. But rest assured, I am doing hand stretches and wrist stretches. I've been making the same motions for 2.5 hours at this point. Okay, much better. Oh my gosh, yeah, that took a while. Enjoy your food, Dobby. Hopefully it's worth the wait. Now I kind of want shawarma. Or falafel. Oh god, falafel sounds delicious. Only a really uncomfy swivel chair. Yeah, that sucks. Have you, do you have like a throw pillow or something you can put behind your back? Because sometimes even that's enough to help a little bit. To just sort of have that to lean back against and remind your back that it's supposed to curve. Because like your lumbar spine, which is the bit that's right down above your butt, is supposed to curve backwards. We're not designed to be hunched forward all the time. Sometimes even just having a pillow behind your lower back is enough to help. I also find, and this may or may not be an option for you, but I actually really love corsets and obies because they force me to keep my back straight, or rather they offer the support to help me keep my back straight, even if I'm in a not ideal chair. Oh, that's right. You guys just moved. Maybe see if you can pick up a really cheap one, if that's feasible for you. Or even, like, grabbing your bed pillow might even help. But yeah, non-ideal chairs are not great. My desk chair is currently technically a dining room chair, because I don't have the money to buy a really nice, like, office chair at the moment. But it's fairly comfortable. I made sure to get one that's shaped decently, to offer good support. But yeah, you just gotta kind of make do with what you have. Both your feet off the floor. Yep. I mean, I currently have both of mine on the floor, but that's sort of the way this chair is designed. Yeah, typically I have mine off the floor as well. Kara always does. Kara's preferred nest is, we have both a couch and a love seat, and they're set at like right angles to each other. So I'll be sitting on the couch correctly. So like if I'm here, I'll be sitting on the couch, you know, correctly facing the television. The love seat is here. So Kara will sit with her head and back against a pillow on the arm of the couch here, or on the arm of the love seat here. And then her feet, like she sits sideways on the love seat. Because her legs are just like the exact length of the love seat. And then she'll have her laptop on her lap and stuff. Alright, I think I'm back. I should be back. Sorry about that. Strange blip. I'm not sure if that was computer related or internet related or Twitch related. No, it did go down for a second. I got the message that OBS was attempting to reconnect. Like I said, I'm not sure what caused it, but yeah, that was definitely a thing. Aw. I'm not actually sure what capsalon is. I tend to prefer falafel over donair, but that's just me. Do you want to behave, Yarn? Answer, no. I really want falafel. Maybe I'll pick some up at the grocery store. Falafel just smothered in tzatziki is delicious. Fries, then meat, then cheese. Oh. Interesting. So it's like... It's almost like shawarma poutine with salad. Huh. That definitely sounds worth a try. I'll have to see if someplace around here has that. Or see if maybe I haven't heard of it because it's a more European thing. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. I've never looked for it either. It definitely seems like the kind of thing that Canada would either completely embrace or completely shun as an inferior poutine knockoff. And I'm not sure which way it would go. But it sounds delicious. Huh. So maybe it's just, maybe it's just a Dutch thing. I'll have to look and see if I can find it over here. Interesting. Yeah, no Dancer, you're good. My stream did go down for a second. I'm not sure why. OBS just decided to say no. In Nepal? Interesting. That's not... It's not exactly the kind of food I would expect. Again, I guess I don't know that much about Nepalese culture. Oh, that's interesting. Is there a connection between the Netherlands and Nepal that I'm not aware of, that it might have spread there? Huh. Oh, interesting. So it's just kind of a natural accumulation of all their favorite foods. Interesting. Neat. Now I'm really hungry though. Definitely gonna have to get myself some falafel, or at this rate, possibly just poutine. Fries and cheese sounds amazing. Ooh, fries and curry sauce sounds delicious. My only problem with that is I'm allergic to most curry sauce, because I'm allergic to peppers, so like red peppers, green peppers, all of them. And most curries contain at least chili powder. So I have to be really, really careful about like curry sauces that I haven't made myself. Oh yeah, no worries, Dobby. I need to eat something once I get off stream anyway. Now you've at least just given me an idea of what I want to eat. And I am glad you have acquired your food. Yeah, yeah. Have you ever tried a Japanese curry? That's usually what I go for because it doesn't contain peppers and it's a lot milder. It's more of like a savory, almost like a chili gravy rather than being a spicy, but it's still got like the warmth from the cumin in it. Japanese curry's amazing. Yeah, no, that's a mood. I have to avoid chili too for obvious reasons. Or for, allergy related reasons rather than reflux, but yeah. That's true. It is my fault originally. It's just kind of shawarma's my go-to whenever anybody's like, what should we eat? Nobody knows what we want. It's just like, well, what about shawarma? Because along with shawarma comes the massive pile of potatoes smothered in garlic sauce, and that's the best thing ever. If you're sick or hungover or like just don't know what you want to eat, just potatoes and garlic sauce. Oh, it's the best. Kara makes a really, really good Japanese curry that she puts potatoes, carrots, and apples in. And apples in curry is also delicious because they provide just like a little bit of a different crispiness and a little bit of a sweetness to it. Hey, I managed to hit the exact one you hadn't had on vacation. Nice. Yeah, that's what I thought about, because my first like suggestion was gonna be burgers, but then I was like, well, yeah, they've been on vacation, so they've probably had plenty of burgers. And I don't know what the food's like on Malta, so. But oh yeah, being out there in the middle of the Mediterranean, I hope you ate plenty of fish. Nice fresh fish. That is the one downside of living in the middle of the continent the way I do. We don't get fresh seafood. Come back. There we go. No, that's fair, Dancer. I try to at least try things if I'm not outright allergic to it. But yeah, when I was younger, I was much pickier. that's good. At least it was decent. Oh yeah, no, I can't. I can't do Brussels sprouts. I don't like broccoli at all, and I'm very, very picky about carrots. The texture of carrots typically really bothers me, so it has to be cooked. Like, it has to be roasted or cooked until it's softer, or I just can't do it. Oh man. Yeah, I live in Ottawa, which is let's just say I could get to the Great Lakes before I could get to the sea. I would have to drive a good 10-12 hours to get to the ocean. Well, I mean, I guess depending on if you count the St. Lawrence Seaway as part of the ocean. But yeah, I'm way inland. Yep, same. It has to be shredded super... Carrots have to be shredded super tiny or be super soft. Totally agree with you, Dancer. It's not even the taste. Like, I don't mind the taste of them. It's just fully the texture. But luckily, Kara's very understanding and accommodating because she has texture issues of her own, so she gets it. And she's always really, really good about either cooking the carrots longer than the recipe specifies or just not putting any on my plate because she knows I won't eat them. Yeah, good old sensory issues. Luckily, I don't have too many of them, but the ones I do are, like, insurmountable. Christmas music? Or at least Jingle Bell music. Oh yeah, sound issues that's a big one for me too. I'm usually okay with fireworks. It's more of metal and ceramic clanging that gets to me. Like, I actually have a really, really hard time sometimes if Kara's loading the dishwasher. Because, like, if she pulls something out of the sink, and then, you know, sometimes there's, like, a cascade of dishes in the sink, that noise of the dishes and the pots hitting against each other will just... It just really, really hurts. Or, like, there's certain things at work where if they're... we have, like, these rolling, like, clothing carts, and sometimes we'll, like, reassemble or disassemble them based on how many we need and our storage limitations. And anytime they're being disassembled, I just have to leave because the metal bits clanging together is incredibly loud to me. But again, luckily my boss is pretty understanding, where I'm just like, hey, I have noise triggered migraines and this is a noise that triggers them. I'm just going to leave for 10 minutes. And he'll be like, yep, no problem, go right ahead. So yep. It's forget what the actual, there's a scientific term for it, where certain sounds will cause you like physical pain, and I forget exactly what it is. But it is actually a diagnosable condition. Yes, that is it. Misophonia. My boss is usually pretty chill, yeah. I mean, it's kind of give and take. It's when life happens and it's out of our control, he's very chill about it. But if I was to go to him, like, I don't know. There's certain things he's really chill about, and then certain things he's really not chill about. And part of it is that I've been there for 7 years, so I can get away with a little bit more than like our new hires can. But yeah, typically when it's like out of our control, or if it's a medical thing, he's very understanding about it. Come on. There we go. You just... Oh, so this yarn, the sunset yarn, is, so it's Lion brand, which is one of my favorite brands, but it's from their ice cream line, and this particular colorway is called Parfait. It is a 100% acrylic yarn, because that's about all I can afford at the moment, but it's really soft. I love Lion brand. So yeah, that's what this is. They did a whole bunch of, like, that ice cream line that they did is really, really nice. I've got a whole bunch of the yarns from that collection. Because when they came out, I was just like, ooh, pretty. Yeah, of course. Luckily, I still have the paper wrap on that one, so it's super easy to show you. Yeah, this is a really nice stitch. Remind me later, Merlin, and I will drop. There's a YouTuber called Bago Day Crochet that does really nice stitch tutorials, and that's where I learned how to do this one. Remind me later, and I'll drop the link into the Discord, and you can pass it on to your mom, because she does a really good, like, step-by-step, here's how you do it. But yeah, it's pretty simple to learn. But yeah, it's a really cute one. And it comes out, it's really nice and structured, but it's also fairly thin. Like it'll come out being fairly lightweight. Again, depending on what yarn you use, but this one is pretty lightweight. Sasha hair. Gone. Gone, fuzz. But are you in the basement? Is the question. Yeah, some of these song titles are pretty good. I'm sure at a certain point he puts out so much music that I'm sure there comes points where he's like, I don't know what to name this one, and just hits like a random word generator. That's what I would do. Aw, no basement. That's okay. End of the row is a single crochet. Because you crochet too, right, Merlin? I seem to remember us discussing blankets at various points. Sounds like Mario music. Yeah, this is definitely the background music to like a Mario Kart track, for sure. Yeah, definitely video game music. It's got a real nice like chiptune vibe to it. That on my favorites list. I really like that. There we go. Room. Yeah, that's probably what made me think Mario, because yeah, it does sound similar to the Rainbow Road theme. Dang, Kittay. No, that's good though. That means you have a great idea and a great character and that you've put a lot of thought into them. And it means that they've come alive to you, which is one of the most important bits with a D&D character. Because you can build a character that you think is going to be super fun, but then if you can't get into role playing them, or you realize halfway through, like, yeah, I don't like this class, then you're not going to enjoy playing them. So the fact that you've written um, so much backstory, uh, is actually really good. It's a really good sign. Ooh. Thank you, Dobby. Nintendo Synthwave sounds excellent. A location we'll almost certainly never go to. I don't know. Like, I would be super happy if once we finish this, um, like this module that Randus has for us, if he's willing to keep going, I'd be happy to play a longer campaign if our party meshes as well as I think it might. So who knows? Maybe there will be more in the future. finish out this row and then probably call it for the afternoon. My tummy is rumbling and I gotta go see Ollie. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you for my followers. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Whether you are mothers or whether you have mothers, or whether you are mother adjacent, I will send you toward Julie here in a second. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate having people to bounce off of and talk to, and you know, spark stories. How far did we get today? So we started, good lord, so I'm pretty sure we started at like the beginning of the last blue stripe, didn't we? So we've done a good, almost a foot, like a good, yeah, like a good 10-12 inches there. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping me working and keeping me focused and on track. And I will see y'all next week. I don't know whether we'll be doing maybe more crochet, maybe back to patchwork. Haven't quite decided. And yeah, maybe my next week I will hopefully have a new job. Fingers crossed. So, as is tradition and as promised, I will send you off toward Julie. She is indeed playing Final Fantasy XIV. Looks like she's finishing up 6.1. So yeah. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.